Hello and welcome. I am Russell Quirk from Propaganda PR, and I have the great pleasure with me today of interviewing Adam Pigott from OpenBrix and David Thomas from Liberty Gate. We're going to reveal how those two things are connected in a second. But first of all, let's talk about OpenBrix, another property portal. And I can hear you all saying, yeah, another property portal, so what? That's what we're going to dig into insofar as why you should be eyes open and sitting up straight and kind of listening to what OpenBrix is going to be all about, because it is different. And I know you've heard that before, but it is different. So, Adam, David, hello, welcome.
Thank you, Russell. Hello.
Yeah. Let's dig in, shall we, insofar as the point of today, which is to talk about what OpenBrix is. And maybe just want to set that out really in terms of what OpenBrix is, of course, from an estate agency point of view, because of course you were an estate agent.
I was, yeah, 28 years.
There you go. So you should know what you're talking about.
I should do.
And I would imagine, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, that the whole OpenBrix proposition is being built around what estate agents would want from a property portal. So what is it? Tell us what it is.
Well, if I could try and put it into one sentence, OpenBrix is a multi-featured, democratised, decentralised platform that allows the UK property industry and their players, controlled by the agents, to interact together securely and transact together transparently. Great.
So it's a portal in terms of search.
It's a portal. Mm-hmm. That's the one feature. It's currently a free listing portal. It is also, we have a partnership program where the agents dictate who their partners are from an open marketplace, and if we're putting loads on there. If there's one an agent particularly wants, the integration is a couple of hours. It's very simple. So they can, an agent can connect and a consumer to their property and to their choice of suppliers, who then can interact directly to the consumer and sell their wares without the need for the marketing, the training the agents have to go through, without the pressure. And of course we open this up not just to the agents' consumers, but also to their current tenants, their managed stock. Once a tenant moves in, people tend to forget about them. Mm-hmm. So OpenBrix can connect all of them together and massively increase and focus the extra revenues.
So it sounds like, in addition to being a portal, it's a kind of connecting platform for agents. But tell us why it's different, because look, we've heard of On the Market. Yep. I think some of us have heard of On the Market. They used to be a thing once, and Home Search and One Dome. A whole kind of plethora of portals that all seem to be coming along. Why should agents care about what OpenBrix are doing? Why is it different? So what are the USPs in particular?
Well, I tried to not use this word, but it's the first in the world built on blockchain. And what the blockchain effectively does is allow that connection, that pairing, and effectively what it does, it creates like a WhatsApp group. So anybody on that chosen group, which will be the agent dictates, it's agent has control, the end user, the property, the partner, the mortgage lender, the solicitor, the perhaps a legal platform, can all connect together and integrate, and effectively without the need for administration.
Great. Okay. So talk to us about how agents can earn from the platform. So not the pricing of the platform, so I want to come to that in a minute, because I think that's really key, and I think you've, to all intents and purposes, really solved a problem for agents in terms of how you're going to price this. Yep. But how can agents actually earn out of the platform, which actually should make agents sit up and take note, I think, because there's not many portals that actually put money in the pockets of agents, is there?
No, it's really good, and again, the simplicity of technology. Once the agents uploaded their properties, whether they're available properties or their managed stock, they can connect the end user, the tenant, the consumer, to the property, and that's all they have to do. Because they'll have set up their partnerships already, the moment that end user is paired to that property, then basically it's straight out the gate, the partners are notified, they go in straight and can keep them up to speed. For example, if there's Sky do a new package or a new Q-Box and your tenant moved in 5 weeks ago, bang, this guy can get in contact directly.
So when we talk about partners, we're talking about
Yeah.
utility switchers,
Yeah.
we're talking about broadband, we're talking about entertainment.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a seamless integration of those properties and the people attached to those properties in terms of landlords and tenants, and being able to switch them and as a consequence earn money from those relationships.
Absolutely, and it happens seamlessly. And a very important point here, Russell, is that OpenBrix do not take a cut of that commission at all. Not one bean do we take, nothing.
So it all goes to...
It all goes directly to the agent branch.
Okay, so I guess, look, being a cynic, how can you do that, and why would you do that?
It's the blockchain.
So how do you earn then? Or should we come back to that?
We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that in terms of your pricing, so that perhaps the cynicism might dissipate. And there's one other aspect to OpenBrix which I'm really interested in, which I'd like you guys to talk about, which is why David's here. Begins with M and ends in LS. MLS, you know what MLS is? It's a big American thing apparently, which of course should never darken the shores of the UK, but that's about to change, right, David? So what is the MLS, and tell us how you've been involved in kind of kicking the MLS thing off insofar as OpenBrix?
Well, it all started through the lockdown period where agents started discussing on social media, you know, how we take a estate agency forward post-pandemic, and there was a lot of discussion about collaboration and ideas, and that's where the MLS kind of became a topic really, and that's when you could really see that agents were keen to collaborate and do something that they know works, because if you look around the world and you look at how successful the American model is, how much that delivers to the consumer by being able to work for buyers. I think honestly, as estate agents, if we look at the fact that we don't work for buyers as it stands, that does seem strange. It seems
so just describe in a nutshell what an MLS is, how it works. So an agent lists a property for sale, what happens?
It's effectively a platform that allows you to share that information. So where you would normally list your property sale on a portal, now you'd have a back end to that portal where you can effectively say, look, I'm prepared to do a commission split on this property, this is the commission available, here's the details you're allowed to have and share and, you know, disseminate how you need to, but it effectively gives you more of an exposure for that property. You're now utilising.
So what I'm understanding here is that this is the estate agency community, maybe via you as the conduit, David, saying we would like more revenue, uncertain times, quite a beleaguered industry in fairness over the last 2 or 3 years, what with Brexit and no deal Brexit and COVID and so on. And what we're saying, this is quite remarkable, is that the agency community have kind of spoken, and that someone has kind of reacted and actually listened. I mean, a portal that actually listens to the community. So how does OpenBrix then figure? So Adam comes along and says, yeah, I'll do that.
No, he basically nagged me. We've been chatting, and I've always said this, we're controlled by the agents. And David approached us and said, look, I'm thinking of an idea. Have you thought of doing something like an MLS? And I thought, oh no, I'm just trying to get my head around community pages, which is what we were doing. And we had a good chat, and I came away, and the following day I had a bit of a light bulb moment, which obviously you'd had a couple of days before, and I suddenly thought, I don't need to do community pages, because with an MLS, because of how, I've said it 3 times, blockchain, how it works, is that a network can be set up between those, because everyone's got an ID, they can set up their own network, whether it be 2 or 3 agents, whether a corporate agency wants to just deal within their corporate agency, whether you want to do instruct a one-off agent in London because you've got a property.
Right, so to be clear, so the agent that's the instructing agent can decide exactly who he shares that instruction with. So it's not a blanket thing. No. So agents watching and listening to this that might otherwise be concerned. I mean, I had experience of an organisation back in the day called Team, where you had to MLS everything and it went to everybody. It was literally all or nothing. What you're saying is you've made it bespoke so that it actually can be focused on 1 agent, 5 agents, 25 agents, or every agent.
Yeah, because naturally you as an agent might only want particular brands or other agencies to work with.
Or competitors that you don't want to have it.
Yeah. So it allows you the flexibility. You can start small, you can work with 1 or 2 partners, or you can work with the whole of the country and allow that sort of exposure.
And how do you think that plays in terms of an agent that is trying to show differentiation in the living room insofar as nicking instructions over and above his competitors?
I think it's
got to be powerful,
it's a bit of a game changer, because if you can go into somebody's front room and say, look, if you employ me, you employ every agent, because
for one
I'm
fee.
on the MLS.
Yeah.
And that gives you a much bigger exposure. It gives you a whole of market, because now those agents are going to tap into their database and bring buyers to your property that they wouldn't do under the old model.
And what about the split? Who dictates that? Are OpenBrix dictating that?
No. The primary agent gets to choose. So the primary agent being the instructing agent, he can choose at a granular level the commissions. He can, if he wanted to, he can have different commission splits with anyone in his network.
So he literally just programs that into the back end,
yeah.
and it looks after itself.
And also marketing rights as well. I mean, this is what David's asked for. We've just built it, basically.
But the interesting thing was, the reason there was so much synergy with OpenBrix was a number of my concerns when we were coming up with the idea was we can't afford for it to be commercialised. If we ended up with a commercial entity getting hold of the MLS, charging agents,
yes.
we end up with another Rightmove, in essence.
So you think it should be free to access, and it was OpenBrix that came along and said, yes, we'll build it.
Because of the blockchain and the fact then that our data is secure and it can't be commercialised, means this platform now will always be owned by agents and run by agents.
Yeah.
So it's completely controlled by our own industry.
And that's a thread that runs through the whole OpenBrix proposition, isn't it? In terms of, remember Adam, when we first met, and you said there's obviously this huge furore at the moment, understandably, with the likes of Rightmove and to a lesser extent other portals, whereby of course agents feel fleeced and have felt fleeced for some time in terms of the way that prices go up. But Adam, you were imparting to me that can't happen. Not that it shouldn't happen or might not happen, but it cannot happen in terms of. So just explain how agents here are in control of pricing, and then in a second we'll talk about what the pricing model is.
Well, every agent who joins every branch becomes the community, and their branch effectively is what. That's where the data's held. So the data isn't held in a centralized server. It's held in the individual branches' servers, and what we do is we connect them all together, and they choose at whatever granular level the data they want to share to each other. And we don't control the platform. In fact, I think I've said to you before, the day our second agent joined us, because we have a vote, but so does every agent.
So every agent branch or every agent company has a vote? Every
brand has a company.
And has a vote?
And has a vote.
Okay,
we've done that deliberately because otherwise some of the larger corporates who
they would
very
control
happy
it
to
with their 800 branches otherwise.
Exactly, and we have to take that away. So although all the community is made up by all the branches, all the even with the hub style, every person on there gets their own ID and they control it. However, the voting is slightly separate, and that is on a brand-by-brand basis.
So it simply can't happen then?
No.
So you're going to put your money where your mouth is here?
It can't happen.
It can't happen that OpenBrix decide that the subscription or the cost of this to agents will go up by 5, 10, 20, 30%?
No, I could easily. I could put it up, but the reality is the platform could be taken down by the agents. So what we have to do, if at some stage we think we've done a fantastic job, or David comes up with another light bulb moment and says, why don't we do this? We'll turn around and say, okay, we've got to charge £200 to do that. They can turn around and say, actually, hang on, we'll put it out to vote. The community says no, we don't do it. So whether it's development or costing, everything has to be agreed by the community. And in fact, we've proved that already, because some people, a couple of agents said to us, it's another £100 a month model. And we said, okay, look, I'll tell you what we could do. We can bring it down. So we brought it down to £75, and a couple of agents, I'm not sure it was you actually who said this one, although you probably agree with it, it said that, why don't you do a pound per upload? And I said, well, okay, we'll build that in. So the model where we want to go with this is, from the portal perspective, is that we want to reduce the £75 a month to zero, and we'll be able to do that the quicker we get traction.
Over time,
but we'll do it as and when we grow, because we'll bring in the £1 per upload.
Yeah. So look, I think
replace the
with my agent head on, and look, I'm biased, of course. People will say, because we know each other, we work together. You've engaged us, but you and I have spoken for some time about truly democratising a platform and doing what, let's just say, some other portals on the market, looking smiling, on the market said they were going to do, and they didn't do. They simply did something else. So the fact that what you're doing here is properly democratised, I think, is a massive win. The MLS, I think, is really interesting indeed, insofar as it being an instruction gainer, and also something that genuinely can put revenue in the pockets of agents, particularly the independent agents.
Increased revenue.
Yeah,
and what I'm excited about is the consumer.
But I think the pièce de la résistance here is your pricing. I really do, because the fact that, as you just alluded to, really, most agents will say, look, we're just a bit sick and tired of paying an amount per branch. Why should Company A at number 1 High Street versus Company B at number 3 High Street, that have entirely different businesses and entirely different sizes of stock, why should they pay the same to Rightmove and the same to Zoopla, when actually the economy of scale that one derives from their increased levels of stock is completely different to the other? So your approach, insofar as you pay for what you use based on stock, I think honestly there should be a sigh of kind of relief across the industry, really, insofar as this now being a properly fair agent focused model.
Yeah, I mean, we have from day one, it was always how can we do this at a much lower cost, which people said we couldn't do, and of course we proved we can. To be able to bring in the pound per upload for the portal aspect, as well as doing the subscription model to if you like, for the agents to use the partnership program, so we can earn thousands of pounds a month to easily replace the tenant fee ban, and the MLS is another, I think, a pitching tool for agents to be able to say, actually my fees are no longer 1.25% or 1.5. You know, you were prepared to pay 2.25 or 2.5 for a multi-agency. MLS is far better than that, and I think agents should be pushing it. I mean, have you thought about how you would sell the MLS to a client?
Very much like that, because you're effectively, the problem we've had with trying to increase fees is you've got to add more value. You've got to be able to show that you're
it has to be tangible.
And most agents offer fairly similar levels of service, whereas the MLS does effectively mean you're going in there and offering a whole of market exposure. You're not going to work with other agents, which no agents currently do.
And just to come back to the point about a £1 an upload, just again so that people watching and listening to this understand, this is not £1 per property per month. This is a £1
per upload of an available property.
So if you upload a property today for sale, you pay £1 and that's it. You don't pay it again next month or the month after.
No, I just have to recap on this. That is the direction we're going. Clearly, we have to commercialise this to get this up the ground, because OpenBrix costs money to run, but it's low cost compared to other portals. So we've got this £75 a month now, which means you get the portal your back end on for free. You've got access to the partnerships. You've got free listings on the portal. We will bring the pound in at some point in the future, but it will be when we can reduce the subscription. So it'll be a seesaw.
So how's it going? So answer me honestly, Adam Pigott. How's it going in terms of traction? How are you doing? I know you haven't launched yet, so no one would expect you to be rivaling Rightmove just yet.
No.
But how much traction?
We've got thousands have registered their interest. So let's be absolutely clear. The proof will be in the pudding when we turn around and say, right, we're now going to start charging the £75 a month, and we've got to engage with the agents. We don't know what the take-up will be. We really don't. From my perspective, I'm thinking, well, surely all I have to do is one tenant or one buyer just has to buy one product of one of my partners in 1 month will pay my subscription. And I just think, look, everything we've done has been about what can we do for agents, because I was an agent who was paying £4.5–5 grand a month on all of my branches to go to Rightmove Prime Location. It really hurt me, and all along I'm thinking, how could I make my life better if I was still an agent? And then talking to agents like David and Paul and Rob, and I try and speak to as many agents as I can every day, and hear them moan sometimes, hear their positivity at others. And it brings it all back for me, and I just think and because ultimately this is controlled by the agents, I personally think agents should take this up, but hey, the proof will be in the pudding.
Okay, and if they want to, in terms of those that haven't yet registered an expression of interest, how do they contact you in the business and the team?
openbrix.co.uk, pre-register, and then we'll be back in touch with you. We'll be sending out emailers as we get closer to launch, and of course we'll be letting you know which partners we've managed to secure, probably a couple out of the bag already, I'm really bad at keeping secrets. But we'll keep people up to date. Just those people. I don't want to be banging stuff out on social media all the time about, oh, look at us, look at us. So we're trying to build up our interest in the registration numbers, and then we'll keep emailing people and let people know when we're launching and who we've got deals with and what we're doing. But
official launch is next month. Right?
Official launch will be in September. Charges won't come in at that stage. We want to try and encourage people to start getting their portfolios on while they can, start interacting with the MLS. David's got a group of agents who are going to beta test it first, and I've got some others around in pockets around the country. So we'll get that going, and I want to see that work.
So, ladies and gentlemen, something that genuinely is different. I think you'll agree. So, look, Adam Pigott, David Thomas, thank you very much, and look forward to watching the journey. It's going to be a good one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.